But anyway, so I know everyone's excited for this or terrified for this. Um, but we're doing this because I've gotten a lot of questions on this, and I think a lot of this is going to be stuff you guys already know. We're going to start from the very beginning, of course. And then I'm not going to go through all this spiel. You know who I am by now. But this is kind of what we're going to do today. I'm going to go over literally the basics, like what an event is, the title, every other part of it. Then I'm going to go over some of the. Did I skip? No, okay. Then we're going to go over the difference between events and reminders. So that's part of the benefit of having a digital calendar is some of the different things than just writing events on it. Then staying organized. So this is a lot of the people who have asked me about, like, oh, how do I create different colors or different calendars or things like that. We're going to talk about this. Why do I see multiple entries for the same thing in different colors and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to go over a lot of, this is going to be hopefully the I'm confused and now I understand why I am sort of fix here. And then if we get here, we're going to go over some advanced features of calendars and fun stuff like that. So can everyone hear me okay? Any questions before I go? Okay, go on, I mean. I know, I'm not leaving. Yeah, no. Yeah. It's all AI now, so I'm just here for the front man, and then I'm going to take a seat back and let it talk for me. Yeah. I will say one thing. So please follow with me as I'm doing stuff. To begin with, I'm going to do everything from the computer perspective because it's easier to display and look at things like that. On your phone, we have a mix of Android and iPhone. It is going to look different. I have both an Android and an iPhone back on the table with me that I can show things. But just so you know, I'm going to start with the computer because I think that's a good neutral ground. Okay? So if you feel lost, just let me know and we'll make sure that we find a way to get everyone on the same page. Okay. Last chance before I get into it. Any questions? Great. I don't know if I said good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone's doing okay. Looks like everyone's dry. Yeah. Okay, so what is a digital calendar? Now, I know this sounds like a funny question, but it's a calendar, but it's digital, right? The thing is there's a lot of things that, and maybe you don't even know that digital calendars can do versus paper calendars, right? So, I think it's the next slide, and I'll talk about why you don't even necessarily have to get rid of paper calendars. I think they both have their purposes. But digital calendars, and we'll get into the specifics, but they're used on a digital device. So we're talking computers, phones, tablets, smartwatches, anything like that. And then used with the calendar interface. And what I mean by that, and we'll get into it more in depth, but it looks like this. So unlike a traditional calendar that's on the wall or so-and-so, it's got other buttons and features and gadgets and things to automate or make events easier to track, more information you can put into it. And this is really right here what we're going to be focusing on today and what makes them digital, right? Other than the fact that they're on a device, right? So digital calendars, think of it as a calendar technology, but they've pushed the theory around how to manage dates and times and things like that. And I want you guys to have that mindset. You might have to get outside of the traditional thinking with some of this. And I already said that. It has certain functions that paper ones don't have. So I've had people, and the reason why I added this slide is because I've had people be like, oh, well, I love my paper calendars. You can definitely still use them. They have their purpose in place, right? So sometimes, like me and my wife, if we have a giant calendar on the wall, sometimes it's easier just to go there. And we'll get into sharing calendars and things like that. But sometimes it is easier just to add things on the paper calendar, wake up in the morning, walk past it, see it, however you want to say. So I only use digital nowadays for the most part, but there's definitely ways to incorporate both. It just depends on your comfort. And the benefits of those are, of course, you can usually have a larger overview. So sometimes it's easier like this to see everything at once. Sometimes it's easy with digital calendars too, but as people who actually use theirs know, this can get quite cluttered up with a whole bunch of junk or other things. and that's what I'm saying there. For some, it's easier to see. So again, these tiny boxes, depending on what you're looking on, so you can have this same view from this tablet on a phone, and sometimes, it's this tiny. So anyway, that's all just to say, if you're in love with your paper calendars, don't feel like you have to go all digital. You know me, I'm never that kind of person to say that you have to, but there's a use case for that. Okay, so then on the flip side, why are people always saying, oh man, why don't you put that in your phone, in your calendar, or things like that? Well, one of the reasons why people like to use these is they're always handy for the most sense, right? You usually always have your phone with you. And if you really get into it, if you are somewhere else without your phone and someone else has a phone or a computer, usually you can access your calendar from there if you need something. As we'll get into, calendars can send you automatic reminders. So your paper calendars can't do that. They're sitting at home. But if you set the event or whatever, or the reminder up to do this, it can ping you or remind you within a certain time frame. They're also a lot easier to change, right? So paper calendars, depending on if you're doing them in pencil or pen, you can change those events as many as you can. You don't have to erase it, wipe it out, etc. Syncing, that's a really big one. So essentially, if you have a phone, tablet, watch, computer, if you enter the event on one, you have it on the others, right? You've got it all across. And then it's backed up. So me personally, if I lost everything in my calendar, I would be dead in the water. I wouldn't even know what is going on in life, right? So the beauty of digital calendars is that, not that there's a whole bunch of people out there stealing your paper ones, but if something did happen, you always have a backup for the most part, and we'll get into that. And that's truly what makes a calendar digital. Okay, so, and this is kind of what I was talking about different ways of looking at it. So 99% of all calendar functions are the same. All digital calendars pretty much do the same thing. It just might look slightly different, and that's what I wanted to describe. So that's why I said I'm going to start with like the computer version as just like a generic standing point. But then definitely you're going to have like phones and tablets, and I have the phones. But then some of those features that the calendar can do, again, most of them share the same, but that actually is dependent on what calendar provider you have. And again, we'll get into more detail, but yeah, that's usually like your Gmail account or your Yahoo account or Hotmail or whatever it is. Does that make sense? We're all on the same page so far? Great. Okay, any questions? Great. You guys are like, I know what a calendar is. But again, at the end of the day, they are calendars, right? They display the months, the days, the years, sometimes the day of the week if you're into that, and I can show you how to do that. Day of the week, Sunday, Monday, etc., and then the week number in the year. So like in a business setting, we use week numbers a lot, like the week of the 30th or week 30 of the year. So and then calendar views. So some of the benefit of digital calendars is that, with a physical one, you always have the whole month at a time. Digital calendars let you look at things daily or by a schedule, like in order of what's happening, by week, by month, by year, etc. Sometimes it lets you look at the whole year at a time, a month at a time, and usually anywhere in between all that. For me, that's very helpful because I can either decide to focus on today or I can decide to focus on the whole month at a time. Okay, events versus reminders. So this is one of the key functions of digital calendars. But again, there's events, which are things that you've had planned. And depending on how you use it, they can kind of cross over, depending on your definition of it. But events are usually things that happen at a certain time and place. Reminders are usually very repetitive, right? Okay, like your classes, your YMCA classes, a reminder is what would say, okay, the event is every Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the reminder is 30 minutes before that, oh, hey, I got to go to that event. So, and then tasks. So Google Calendar kind of calls these tasks, which are like one-off things. So you can add a task and then you check it off and then it's done. Whereas reminders are usually repetitive. Tasks like a to-do list. Yep, exactly. And they even learned how to integrate that into calendars as well. Yeah.
I'm sure you probably get to it, but just verify for all reminders. Can you set that for different lengths of time?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we will get there. I'm just trying to get us into the mindset, right? So know what we're dealing with. But good question. And then this is a lot of the time what trips people up as we get into it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But calendars belong to an account, right? So a calendar anymore is not just a calendar, or very few times it is. It's usually always associated with account. So on your phone, it's if anything, it's going to be associated with your iCloud account if you don't have it, or your Google Play account, Gmail, Yahoo, Microsoft. It's always going to belong to a service. 99.999% of times. And you'll see what I mean by that, because sometimes, who here has more than one email address? Right. So you're going to have, if you have more than one email, and who has those email addresses on their phone? They access more than one on their phone. So you have more than one calendar on your phone. So when you go into your phone calendar, do you know which of those services you're adding the events to? Exactly. So we're going to talk about why that causes confusion, what's happening there, and unpack all that. But that's why I want to bring that up, because a lot of people are just adding stuff to the calendar and it shows up and it's fine. But if anything ever happens, or you need to access that from somewhere else, or you need to recover it, you're like, oh, where did I actually put that? So any questions on that? Okay, this is the end of the slides. I'm going to switch to the computer and we're going to start getting into things. How about that? Okay. I feel like I'm talking really fast, so if I'm going too fast, let me know. Yeah, sure, if you want. Yeah, right. I wore my purple pants yesterday, sorry. Oh, it's a book. It's a children's book. I got this bag when I worked at Barnes & Noble. I read it. Oh. Okay. So, what does this look like? A calendar, right? So more specifically, so I'm a Google person, so I use a Google Calendar. For the purposes of today, I don't think it's going to confuse you too bad no matter what you're using. Yahoo, Microsoft Outlook. We're just going to focus on like what these functions are and what they look like. And if we get confused on our personal devices, we can definitely tackle that. But like I said, almost all digital calendars, no matter what service you're using, they have the same features. They just may look slightly different. So again, I encourage you to follow along. And if you get stuck on a specific point, let me know. I guess I have my notes over here where I have all. Yeah, but see then, and then it depends, like, because the main calendar app I use is not the one that iPhone comes with. I use the Outlook app, which is Microsoft. See what I mean? But I don't think that really matters too much. Like I said. So if you use the Google Calendar, download the Google app? No, and see, that's the beauty of it. So that's a great question. So let me explain this really quick. There is a difference between the physical app or let me say it like this. Let me back up. So like right now, I'm on a web browser on a computer looking at Google Calendar, but I could use the same computer and web browser to look at Yahoo Calendar, right? So your phone's the same way. So if you're Android or iPhone, iPhone has an app called Calendar, and Android has an app called Calendar. That has nothing to do with necessarily your Yahoo Calendar, but you can add the Yahoo Calendar to that, right? So you're kind of, it's the looking glass versus the account that it's attached to. Does it make sense? Or is it getting confusing? Yeah, okay. And that's what no. And that's fine. And that's what I want to try to debunk today because it does get kind of confusing. So again, so if you think about like what email provider do you use? Gmail. So you could definitely go to the iPhone calendar app and add your Gmail to it. So the Gmail account is just what has all the data, the events and everything in it. So it's what's holding on to that. How it looks and feels and how you interact with it, that's what we call the client, which is like the app. So you use the calendar app maybe. Is that what you do? You just tap on, do you have an iPhone or Android? Perfect. So there's an app called Calendar, and then you'll tap on the calendar app and it has your Gmail in there. But I have a Gmail as well, and I use an app called Outlook, which is similar to Microsoft. So it's the same information that's attached to my Google Calendar, but it's just a different tool to interact with and create the events and stuff like that. So there's a difference there.
Does the Microsoft link into these? Because
Yeah.
it's crossed over, so does it look different? Or how,
it can look different. Yep, it can look different, and I'll show you. I'll show you what I mean. Because we're gonna, so this is a completely blank calendar account because mine's insane and I want to start from scratch. And so I can show you the exact same account on both and see what the difference is, if you know what I mean. But we're not there yet. So I just want to go over creating, just start creating events, and I want you guys to, I want to show you what you can do with it, and I want you to ask questions if you don't know what a feature does. I'm just getting to my notes so I can multitask. Okay, so let me give you a really high overview. Again, almost all calendars do the same kind of thing. It just may be in a slightly different place. So please ask me questions if you get lost. But you've got your traditional calendar, right? Your days of the week and your days of the month. That's not confusing to anyone. And then do you see where it says My Calendars? So it has my name, birthdays, and tasks. So we'll get in.
It's really hard to read with all the lights on, and I don't think, can you turn part of them off or not?
This is the only part that I can, but I can turn more off. It's this or this.
Sure. This is good.
Is that ever anyone scared of the dark? Okay. There's no boogeyman, I promise. Anyway, so can you see better?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just pointing things out. I'm not explaining it too much yet. But for the most part, this is the whole shebang. So I'm going to create an event.
So on your phone, you would have that full month of July up in the left-hand corner and then the rest of it.
So not necessarily. Let me show you really quick. Sorry, it's hard for me to see in the dark. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. Come on. There we go. Okay. So sorry, that took me a second. So, okay. So this is my phone. So this is my phone. So this is, I have an iPhone and I also have an Android back there. But for the iPhone, you'll see the calendar here. And this is the same, it's the same calendar account. So it's still my Gmail account, but now I'm looking at my phone and I'm using a different app, let's say, to use that. So those of you who have iPhones, your calendar should look very similar to this.
And
Yeah.
that answers a question I was going to ask you. So you could completely sync between all the
Yeah,
different.
absolutely. Yeah, you could, whoever your account holder is, Yahoo, Gmail, whoever, they're a neutral party. You could have an Android, or you could have that same account on an Android and that same account on an Apple, and then they'll sync. The data will sync. It may just look, and what I mean by data is all the events and the times and stuff like that.
Did it used to be that way, or did you have to be on the same?
It's gotten better.
Okay, because I think way back when families had to be on the same.
Yeah, it's gotten better.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to answer your question, Bev, this is going to be like more what your phone looks like. But my point in saying that a lot of it is the same is because maybe you don't have the small, tiny calendar over here on the left, but you do have like the main calendar here, and you can see those events that I highlighted earlier, or that were up on the calendar earlier. So the looking glass may be slightly different, but the information and stuff is going to be the same. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to the computer just so it's easier for me to get through that point. Okay. So I'm going to show you, so just on the computer, usually if you're in the calendar app, there's going to be a plus button somewhere. And you can add the event that way with the plus. Do you guys need help? Hey, do you guys need help with something?
No,
Okay.
Just she has an iPhone and I have an Android.
Okay.
She was looking at it. Like they do the same thing.
That's fine. Yeah. So, okay. So if you press the plus button on your phone, or if you want to double click on the day that you want to create an event. So like, let's say it's July 23rd today. So see, usually when you press the plus, or you double click on a day, now it's going to open up all this jazz here. So this is where we're going to start, making sure that we understand what all of this is. So what are the two main pieces of information you need for an event? Anyone willing? Time and date. Perfect. Okay. So you see this. This is the time. This is the date. Okay? You're missing one. Did I say two? But you're missing one piece of information, which is what it is, right? So, okay. So this isn't too hard. This is the basic information you need to create any event. So we're going to say this is, or title is just the same as me saying, okay, seminar, digital, calendars, be on time, right? Okay. So the beauty about, how do you guys, like, if you're on vacation and you are gone for a week and you want to put that on your paper calendar, how do you do that? Do you just like strike it through multiple days, or do you write it on every day, or, right? You draw a line through it. Perfect. So you can essentially do the same thing here. So I'm going to make this more than 1 day long. I'm not going to hold you guys here that long, but I'm going to show you it for the thought. So you can see if you click on 1 day, it's going to default to that day only, right? One time. And then you can also add a time. So I'll show you this first. I'll show you what an all-day event looks like versus what an event with time on it is. So we're not going to worry about the bottom yet. We're going to get to all of that. So I'm going to hit save up here, top right. And then on your phones, if you're doing this, like yours, you should have like a small save button or a confirm. Dismiss. Okay. So now do you see how this is kind of blocked out? Add, sorry. It may say add, save, create, something like that. Yep. So, okay, so this is an all-day event. So it's bright and bold and at the top. So now do you see where, like these? Independence Day doesn't happen at a certain time. It's the whole day. So this is what this is denoting. Then I'm going to double click again. Oh, sorry. But I'm going to uncheck this box because I don't want it to be all day. And then now do you see it pops up these start and end times? So from July 23rd, 26 at 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. I'm going to save it just like that. You can put whatever time you want in there. So like if I click this, it'll give me times to choose from. And it should do a very similar thing on your phone. It might do the whole like radial dial thing where you have to like push the numbers up. I know some people really hate that, but that's what everyone wants to do now. But so now you can see that it's different. It's not a whole bar or line, it's a dot. So that's telling you that it's at a certain point in time, and that's at 10 a.m. So that makes sense. Now let's say that one of those takes longer than a day. So instead of being from today, I'm going to say it's going to last a week. So I'm going to put it on the 30th. Again, I promise not to actually keep you that long. We'd all wither away. But see, now it gives you this nice strike through feature, right? Yes. Sure.
This is what it would look like on the computer.
Correct. It should look... You're fine. So let me do this really quick. So again, on my phone, I have the same thing. So I did this on the computer, but I'll show you how it syncs.
Well, because of what you show, I mean, I don't see any, what you're doing, any of that on my phone.
I'll show you. Let me show you.
Yeah, why have it?
So I did that on my computer, of course, but I'm going to go back to my phone. If it agrees with me. Whoops. So see now all those extra dots? That's that event. See, now you can see those two events that I created. So the one is the 10 a.m. one, and here's the long one. Does that make sense?
Well, it makes, but it's like to try to do what you did on my phone.
So here. So if we go back. So see, you've got your block calendar, kind of like what I had on the computer. And then if you hit plus, then that's where you start putting in your title, your all day, stuff like that. So right. So let me do one on the phone. So like I said, on most of the calendar apps, Android or iPhone, see this little plus up here? So we're going to tap that. And then so this is what I was saying before. So it looks different, but it's the same information. So this is your title, which is what your event is. This is your all day toggle. So on iPhones, it happens to be off first. And then you've got your start and ends. So and it puts the date and time and date and time. So you see what I mean? It's going to look slightly different depending on what app you're using, but it's the same type of information. Is that making sense so far? Am I completely confusing you? Okay.
Dylan, I'm not really confused by what you're saying.
Sure.
But I can't get my phone to put it as a dot when it has a start and end time.
So the dot or the bar is also one of those display things that may change from app to app.
Okay,
So
I just always get a bar no matter what.
it depends. Let me see which.
Oh,
You're fine.
Just hit the button for no reason. So I just like it made this event up on the 29th.
Yeah, so for yours, it's going to look like that.
Okay, so there's no way to get it done.
No.
All right, I just
Yeah. No, it's a very fair question.
I didn't know if I was missing a feature
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Absolutely. But you can see that it does look different from the computer, from the phone, but it's all, I guess what I'm trying to do is give you guys the general tools to try and figure or learn how to use the calendars, right? Okay, any more questions? Does anyone need help? Okay, yes.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
put something on there for the 28th of July, and
Okay.
and all this other stuff came up.
So let's tap on this one, or one of these.
The 28th is the only one I went on there.
So the 28th.
July 28th, there it is.
Yeah, so what do we do with these ones? Where did they come from? I don't know, we duplicated it somehow.
Yeah.
How far does that go? Because we might have to just...
I put it in. Oh, I put it in every month. Now that's weird.
Yeah, here, let me see really quick. I'll show you what I did, but let me... Oh, so I'll get to this, but see where it says repeats daily?
Yes.
So if we hit edit, and then if we scroll down, see where it says repeat?
Yes.
We're going to hit never.
Okay. All right.
And then we're going to hit done.
So that took them all off.
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
Let's go back. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Good. Okay, thank you guys for your patience. I know there's a lot of moving parts here. Does anyone have any questions for me right now? Okay. Thank you for your patience. This is, who was in my photos class? Do you remember when we did that? This is a very similar situation. So photos as a concept isn't very different, but depending on what we're on, it can be, you can interact with it different. So that's what you're feeling. Don't be lost yet though. We'll get there, I promise. Even if we have to do this 2-3 times, we'll get there. Okay. Okay. So, if you guys are willing to, and you want to follow along with me, go back to adding events, like press the plus button or what do you have, whatever you have there for me, please, because I want to start following that. Okay. Okay. So everyone got that up?
You can color code it if you want to, right?
Yes, and we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay. You've got it up. You've got it up. There you go. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. So I know we have some questions on. So if you press that plus button, that's what we're going to be looking at. Yep. So you're there. You're there. We're all good. Okay. If you want to go back to the plus for me, we're just going to get there just so I know. I saw you guys getting there. Okay. So I know there's confusion on what it looks like. It's hard, right? In terms of all the different devices and things like that. But again, the important part is even on your phone now, I saw all of you on the screen. I'm on the computer. You do see the title, the dates, and the time. So the time is hidden on this one by default. But we all see those basic things, right? Okay, so that's what's important right now. So other things that you can do, I'm going to part of these events are you can add locations. So a lot of the times I do this when you guys schedule appointments with me. So I'll put your address inside the calendar so I remember where I'm going. Because as I'm rushing off from one thing to another, I don't have time always to look it up in my list of people and things like that. So that's really nice. Notifications. Okay, so this is Actually, let me go back up because I want to explain the difference between this two. So up here, we're next to all day, and you'll see it on your phone. Like it's usually a separate section. You'll see like does not repeat or repeat daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever. So let me show you this really quick. So like Bev, this is what we turned on. So we hit daily. So if I make this daily and I hit save, see how it does every day? See that? So really what that's going to do is like I pretty much have my seminars every 2 weeks, right? So what would make more sense, I'm going to delete this. And I'm just trying to clean this up for you guys. Hang on. So, okay, so this one's, I know that's not today, but that was the 9th, which was the last time I taught. If I want to try to make my calendar easy to manage, I'm going to double click on this guy, and I'm going to hit repeats every, I'm going to just hit weekly on Thursday for now, right? And if you hit save, then you'll see that it creates an event. So you only had to add it once, but it creates an event every Thursday. Right? Okay. A lot better than writing it in 4 times. And then that'll go for month, until the end of time. But if we go back, and if we get to it, I'll show you. But there is a way to give it an end time. So in other words, if like football season or the FIFA World Cup or whatever you want to talk about, you can always say, oh, the games happen every Friday at 5 p.m. from February to September. Okay. The reason why I went back is because now we're choosing a different time, but this is just for a notification. So notification doesn't change what time the event is happening. So that is always going to show up in your calendar at 10 a.m. This is just denoting how and when you want to get a reminder about that.
It's called alerts on the iPhone.
Right, alerts. Notification alerts. Usually that's in the form of a push notification. So you know when you get a text message or something like that and it shows up on the front of your phone? Usually it presents itself like that. You can also set it to set an alarm, like go off and like ding you. Yep. Does that make sense? Okay.
You don't need to choose it like on this.
No.
Frequency comes up,
Yep.
but not whether it's email or a notification.
Yeah, and we don't want that anyway. That's too much. But the notification is what we want to stay with for right now, right? And then you pick your frequency in minutes, hours. You can have a notification a week before. I suggest that for birthdays. And then the rest of this, I'm not going to worry about right now. The only thing I'll mention is this, adding a description. I really like that because sometimes I add things to my calendar and I don't remember why. Right? So, like, I'll show you what that means. Yep. Exactly. So no, like Kathy was saying, it'll show as, instead of description, it'll show as notes. But then if you add it as description on Google, it'll show under the notes on iPhone. So you've got a universal kind of set of information there. Following me so far? Okay. Any questions? Come on.
Task versus event eventually.
Yes. Do you guys need help?
Yeah, I don't know what, okay. This is not correct the way yours.
No, that's fine.
It's supposed to come up for today, and I wanted to.
So you're on a reminder. So you're actually creating a reminder, or do you want an event?
No, I wanted to have the reminder.
Okay.
I wanted to know how to put the reminder like an hour before, say 2 hours before, something like that.
Sure. So you tell it the date and time.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep, okay. You're okay. Okay. I'm going to make sure I know where I'm in my notes, and then we'll go on. Is it going to be more easy for you guys if I go back to the phone, or is this helping at all? Okay, let me switch then. Okay.
She was talking about on her, she can choose whether she can change it every 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever.
See, my setup is, well, here.
Sure.
Okay, how do I get out of, oh, here, I gotta unclick that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Don't repeat. Okay.
Right.
And then I can actually put in every 2 weeks.
Yep, you can do this on this
Yeah.
too. I'm just not there yet. Yes, Beth? Okay, so we're just backing up and we're doing this on the phone instead. So again, hey, if I can have all of your attention, sorry, just so I can make sure everyone's on the same page. So we're going to do this on the phone. So on iPhone, do you see this plus button here? Okay, so if you tap that, you'll see what I'm talking about like I was on the computer. So my Android users, you should see the plus button as well. If you go back to your calendar, so you're on your messages right now. So if we open our, sorry.
I want to get rid of it.
Yeah, do you know where your calendar's at? Yeah, there we go. Okay. And we're going to go back. So see, oops, sorry. Okay.
It's stubborn.
It is. Okay, so hang on. All right, so
I don't have the date and time in the upper
you're
left.
okay. So put the phone back down. So see the plus button up here at the top?
Yeah, I know about that.
Yep, so we're going to tap that. And then so now you should see very similar to what I have up there. Okay. So who is struggling to get to this point on their phone where they can start creating the event? Everyone's good? Okay. So on the phone, you'll see the title. So that's the name of what we're doing. Don't worry about reminder versus event right now. We haven't gotten that far. So I'm going to put this is an event. Okay. So that's what the name of it's going to be. It could be a birthday. It could be a doctor's appointment. It could be whatever you need. And then this is the all day thing. So on what I was showing you before, it's defaulted to on, meaning it's when if you don't change it, it's going to say it's all day. This one, it's off. And you see if you hit the little check up here, it's going to create it on July 23rd, 26th at 11 o'clock to July 23rd to 12 o'clock. So it gives you an hour there. If you don't want that, you can definitely change that. All we need to do is tap in the bubbles. Right? And it's going to give you a calendar. So like on this one. So if you wanted to choose a different day, so you would tap on your day here and you could choose a different day. Yep, there you go, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it starting on the 23rd. So I'm just going to tap on 23. and it's already checked. Then if you want to change the time, we'll tap right there on that time bubble. And then that's why I was saying it gives you this little dial. So you kind of drag up and down to choose whatever time you want. So for you, it's going to be right here on this time. Okay, so is everyone there? Everyone understands what I mean? So here, go back down here. So for, yep, so see how yours is all day? So it doesn't give you a time because it's all day. So if you uncheck that, it's going to give you a time, and you can tap
Okay.
that.
All right.
So now the one thing that you won't see on my phone that you probably see on yours is an AM PM dial too. My phone's in military time, so it doesn't give me that as an option. But you'll see an AM and PM dial as well. Okay, is everyone with me? Okay. So, and then it's the exact same thing for your end time here.
Can you change the default on that? I think my default's 2 hours.
It's probably in calendar settings. I don't know. I've never had a reason to, but if you go into settings, apps, calendars, it'll be there if you want to change it. You know what I mean? We can look at that in a second, but I want to make sure everyone understands this first. And then so like I was showing Bev, if you're confused and you don't see the time, like if I tap all day, it's not going to give me a time option because it's all day. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to continue scrolling down. So, and then I'll show you here. Sorry, if we go back here. And then I'm just going to change this really quick, just so you're with me. Okay, so now this is going to look slightly different, but I'm going to talk about, so now this is the repeat section. So we don't have to do this. This isn't required, but a lot of us have appointments that happen at the same time and place every week, every month, every so. So instead of adding it multiple times, it's smarter just to create it once and then tell it how often to repeat. So we just do that by tapping here on never, because never is the default. So it only goes to 1 day. And then on your Android phones, it's going to look a lot more advanced up front. So, and I'll show you what I mean that in a moment. So it's going to give you a lot more options. But by default, it gives you every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every year. Okay, so for a lot of people, that makes sense. If that doesn't fit your needs, right down here it says custom, and we'll tap that. For the Android users, it probably is going to look very similar to custom already, and I'll show you what I mean. And again, this is not how to remind yourself about the event. This is just how often that event will show up in your calendar. So we're going to say frequency. Daily's daily. Makes pretty good sense there. But if you say frequency is weekly, you could say every week, or you could tap that, and you could say every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. Does that make sense? Is anyone lost with that concept? Does anyone need help? Okay. Are you there, Bev? Do you want to look?
No, I didn't.
So if you hit repeat never.
I understood it. I just.
Okay, no, that's fine. As long as everyone's understanding, we're good. All right, so, and then the beauty of this is because when it says every week, it always says on, it's usually a day of the week. But while you're here, you can say, okay, well, what if I have the same thing? Like, when is bridge? You guys have bridge Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Tuesdays, every Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And Monday night.
Tuesday and Monday night. Okay, well, this wouldn't work too well then, but you could do, like if you have the same event on Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday that happens every week, you could do this, right? So this is saying, okay, this same event is going to happen every 2 weeks on Monday and Tuesday. And I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to save this just for the sake of it. Okay, so now you can see that it it repeats every 2 weeks on Monday and Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday, blank week, Monday, Tuesday, blank week, Monday, Tuesday. So, does that make sense? Anyone confused on that? My Android people? We rocking and rolling? Yep, so you've got it here too. So see where it says every 1 week, you could tap here too. And you could put every 2 weeks or every however much. Or you could say, you could even say every 1 month or every 2 months or every 3 months. Does that make sense?
You push done.
Yep, exactly. Does it make sense? Okay. Okay. I'm going to go on with that. So, I'm just going back to the same event just so I can show you what it is. Okay. And then see on here where it says end repeat and never. So again, that's where you would put the same kind of information, but you would give it like a date. And I'll show you what I mean. So if I tap on end repeat, which only shows up if you've already set a repeat. So if you're like, it's not there, you have to repeat at a certain interval, and you hit on date. So that'll give you a date to choose. And so in other words, that's something like if something's happened to you and you're going to therapy, but you're only doing therapy once a week for 3 months, you don't want that to be in your calendar for all of eternity. You're going to put it in there for those 3 months that you're doing it once a week. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah. Who's feeling like calendars are way more complicated than we thought they were? Yeah. And that's why when you guys ask me calendar questions, I'm like, it probably needs to be a whole class and probably multiple classes. I know. So I appreciate your guys' patience. I'm sure a lot of you didn't realize what you were walking into today. But now we know, and now we're here. It's okay. Okay. But everyone's good, right? Okay. So I'm just going to continue. I'm pulling an audible. I'm going to continue going down the list because I think that's what's making most sense to people. So here is the biggest part of digital calendars I want you guys to understand. The rest of this is really nice features and so on and so forth, but this is the part that gets confusing. Okay. Right down here where it says calendar. Does everyone see that? Please raise your hand if you do not. I want us to be on the same page with this. Okay.
Go back to the plus.
Yep,
That's
you're
a
okay.
reminder.
Yep,
So
you're
go
okay.
back to- Go back to what?
Sorry, Elaine. I'm just gonna get you there really quick. Not to do it for you. That's dramatic.
Yes.
Okay, so
Probably.
not to do it for you, but okay. So some of you will see just the title. Some of you will see the full email address. Okay, everyone there. Okay. So listen to me, please, because I know this is going to sound really confusing. When you are looking at the dates on the calendar in the calendar app, like if I close out of this screen and you say Monday the 1st or Tuesday the 2nd, so on and so forth, that is not the calendar. That is just the days of the month and the week. And you'll see what I mean by that. So because computers are supreme multitaskers, we can set up multiple calendars that are on the same dates and times. And you'll see what I mean by that. This is the part that gets a lot of people, so stay with me. Okay, so if I tap on this right here, see how I have multiple choices? Okay, is anyone having trouble pulling up that to look?
Sorry.
No, you're okay.
So I've got, this is my Google Calendar.
Yep, so
Okay.
I'm going to go back to creating.
I don't here. Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
that's fine too.
Okay.
I'm just going to create an event.
Okay.
And then see where it says my calendar.
Yeah.
So see how you have multiple choices?
I see Google and nothing else.
Local account. That is technically your choice.
Okay.
But you're in a good spot, and I'll explain that to you. But you've got it, you've got it, you've got it, you've got it. Okay. If you tap just that one, perfect. And then you've got it. Okay. So you've got it. Yep. Perfect. No, that's great. You've got it, but yeah, but not everyone will have oh yeah. So not everyone will have the same amount of things, and that's okay. As long as you see the little pop-up, so you're good. You're good. We're good. Okay, perfect. So when you're talking about email, there's accounts and there's the calendars that all go onto one physical calendar picture. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, etc. Okay? So this is the confusing part, and I'll show you what I mean. So the account is this part. So some of you only have one, and that's perfect. Those are going to be a lot of the people who don't have multiple email addresses or don't use them. For people who have multiple email addresses, think of one email address as one account. And one account can have multiple calendars. So my Gmail is an account, and then that account only has one calendar, right? My iCloud account is one account with multiple calendars. Okay? So I'll show you what that looks like physically on the calendar and how to create them. But in those, for you with Android phones, it's easier actually for you to create new calendars, believe it or not. But it's literally for this purpose. So take me for example. I've got my personal calendar. I've got my work calendar. I've got my consulting calendar. I've got my wife's call schedule. So I've got so many things going on. How often, I guess I should say it like this. There's a lot of times where I only want to look at one of those categories of events at one time, right? Maybe today I only want to see what's going on at work. There are times where I want to see it all, right? More often than not, I want to just see one thing at a time. So what this allows you to do is you can actually add events to let's say, here, let me go back to my phone really quick and I'll give you an example. Don't worry about how to create them or anything yet. We're not there. I just want to show you why they're a thing. So if I say, okay, say go to grocery store, right? So if I go to calendar, I'm not going to put that on my work calendar. I'm going to put that on my home calendar. Okay? So, right here. Yep. Yep. So again, see where it's check marked here? So I hit home. Okay, and I hit OK. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I think it's the same color. Hang on, sorry. It is the same color, or very similar. Sorry, I messed myself up. I was ready for a good segue, and then I... Sorry. If it only knew. We'll get there. We'll get there. So, okay, so you see that I put in go to grocery store. Okay. So, the easiest way to relate this right now is just color coding things. But there is ways where you can only look at one thing at a time. Now, let's say I had a very important meeting at work. Important meeting. So I would want to put that underneath work, right? Okay. So do you see it changes colors? And I'll show you how to set the colors and what that means and so on and so forth. But they call them different calendars, and that's what gets a lot of us confused, because when you think of the calendar, you're talking about this box right here. But when the phone says calendar, it's really talking about what events are created. So events belong to a calendar. So all this box here with the dates and everything, it's just showing you when events are happening. But the actual calendar is all that put together. I just wanted to make me walk back there. Does that make sense? Just the concept. Don't worry about how to do it yet. I know, I see. Raise your hand if that concept doesn't make sense. Okay? Okay.
I thought it would be default, all of them to the same.
There is a default.
There is.
There is always a default, right? So, a lot of the times what happens is we'll default. So like, let me show this. If I go and I hit the plus again at the top and I'm going to go create an event, a lot of what gets people confused is that, see my calendar home? So that's what it's defaulting to right now. But maybe I don't ever use my iCloud account and I want it on here. And I'll show you how to do that, because a lot of the times, if it's defaulting to the wrong place, you create those events, and that's when you see, oh, I can see it on my phone, but when I go on my iPad or somewhere else, it may be defaulted separately, and you don't see those events in the same way. Does that make sense? Okay. So at the end of the day, this is just a way to organize stuff by categorizing it. Who have I lost? Oh my gosh. Okay. Now, Android users, I'll do you guys really quick because you're all right here. If you want to create multiple accounts, you can just hit cancel on that. So that's all your that's your selection. Can I cancel it?
Sure, do whatever you want.
And then if you go here on your settings, see where you can hit manage calendars. And then you can actually go in here and hit add, create shared calendar, or you can create, you can hit maybe at the very bottom. And I just did this earlier to make sure oops. Okay, let me come back. Okay. Let me show, and I'll come back to the Android users really quick, but let me show. So, show you how to set these up. Give me 2 seconds, I'll pull you there. Okay. So if you guys want to see what you have available to you on iPhone, see this little guy down here, the calendar picture? If you guys tap on that, you'll see all the calendars and the accounts. So, and that's exactly it. So you can actually see that on my Gmail account, I've got a holiday calendar and my general calendar. On the iCloud, I've got multiple. I'll show you. No problem. Thank you. So if you go down here at the bottom, see this little calendar icon? I just tapped on that. I just added a calendar.
So are you trying? Oh,
just create a new one.
so default count?
Yeah, but that's your default, right?
Oh, okay.
So which is good thing too.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't sure what
I
you.
wanted to create a new one for you,
Oh.
like show you how to create another. See, these are all categories.
Yeah. If you want, I'll sit here and try to figure it out.
I will in a minute. Anyway, so okay, so now you guys can see what options you have for categorization. If you scroll down, right, you've got an option here to add a calendar if these options don't suit you. So these two, home and work, those are just default, right? You guys may see different options like,
Mine says home and calendar.
yep,
What is
sure.
calendar?
So calendar is just the default probably
That's what
for
I
you.
use.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. If you wanted to create a different category, we would just roll down here, hit add calendar. And do you see where, and then for some reason they want to add these other options, but right now we would just want to add another calendar. And we hit add calendar. And then you can name it whatever you want. Is everyone following me? We're lost? Yep, you're good, you're good. Well, if you want to follow me or not. Yep, you're there too. I mean, oh yeah, add calendar, then add calendar. Yep, and then if you add calendar at the bottom, add calendar.
We don't see where you're.
Yeah, you're fine. So you're at the,
Oh, there.
yeah, so, yep, so they're at the very bottom. And
Oh,
then hit,
okay.
and then add calendar, and then add calendar again. I know it's kind of redundant, but for you as well. So if you tap this button here.
Okay, that's a picture of a calendar.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was an add calendar. I know. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to point it out, but it's very tiny in the very bottom because that's where they decided to put it. Again, if you're lost, what I did is on the main calendar page, I pushed this button down here. So, yeah. So your phone isn't all.
It didn't look like it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
yours is there.
What did it look like?
It was a little information button. If it looks like a little information button or an eye, sometimes it's like that too. It depends on what version of the iPhone you're on.
Oh, okay, so that's a question.
Yes.
I have a Yahoo account and a Gmail account.
Yes.
So I have another Gmail account.
Right.
So how do I add it as a calendar?
You have to add it as an
Because-
account. You don't add it as a calendar. I'll get
Well, and
there.
that's what I was trying to get.
Yeah,
at.
I'm not there yet. Okay. All right, guys, really quick. I just want to show you this really here for a second. So now I'm to the point. I went all the way to the bottom. I hit add calendar, add calendar. We'll get to adding an account here in a second. Don't worry about that yet. But I'm going to create a calendar because I don't have it right now called consulting, right? And then I'm going to choose which account it belongs to if I want. This one, and it's going to default to iCloud because that's the only one I have right now, but it should let you choose if you want. Like if you add, and then add, I just want to see really quick. Make it default. Man. Okay. And then, if you can't choose the account yet, don't worry, I'll get there. And then you can choose your color. So a lot of people have asked me, well, how do I color code the events that I want to create? You're essentially creating another calendar. Does that make sense? No, you can choose. So see this little toggle right here? And then you have all these sorts of options.
It says you can't on Android phone create a second account. I mean, a second. You have to go on a computer and do it, and then it'll show on your phone.
That's annoying.
I mean,
Yeah.
almost every feature is there. But now AI can be wrong, but I'm just,
No, I believe you.
well, I didn't.
No, I know
verify the
what
AI.
you mean.
I'm not lying.
I know, I
but
know.
I can't tell you that AI is correct. Because like I said,
You're right, it
it'll
just
add
accounts.
add account.
Crazy.
And like
Okay.
I said,
Okay.
so don't waste your time trying to show
Yeah,
that.
thank you. So, okay, so I want these ones to be, I don't know, I'm going to do red, right? And I'm going to save this. Okay? by tapping the little check mark at the top. And now you can see that that calendar option showed up here. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. Or are you guys lost? Yeah, good? Okay. Okay, so the reason we're doing this, now, if I close out of this, so the top left, and I just go back to my calendar, so I've got purple stuff and I've got blue stuff. So now I want to make something, a different event, different color code is essentially what we did. So I'm going to go back up, I'm going to create a new thing. I'm just going to name it whatever. And then see, if you go here, you type home, and then see, now you see this option, which wasn't there before. I'm going to tap that one, show there. Then I'm going to save it. And now you can see that it added it in a different color there.
And you can't tell on this whether it's in the same account or different accounts, right? Because two of those are different accounts and
Correct.
two of them are on the same account.
Correct.
You just changed the color.
Correct.
So Google, you can change the color,
Yes.
you know, to where you could separate them.
So you can do that here too.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is
Right.
just
So,
difference,
right. And then one of the beautiful things of this, so color coding is nice, one thing. The other thing is that if you don't want to look at everything at once, let's say I only want to look at the test one, I'm going to go back down here to the little button and see all of these, see this circle and see these check marks? Everything that's check marked is what is currently showing. So if I don't want to look at anything else except for the red, I'm going to tap those. I'm going to uncheck them. And then I'm going to do that, press the X. And then I only see that one thing. So you only have to look at certain things at a time. Everyone with me? Okay. Bev, are you doing okay? Do you need help? Okay. Is anyone lost? Have questions? Yeah, you're doing okay. It just depends on what you want to do. But essentially all we did is we added a new calendar, right? So you've only got, here, I'll cancel. But see, you've got a couple different ones, and you could even remove these if you want. But
I didn't even put those on there, so I don't.
yeah, we can delete them just like that too. But it seems like you've done this before, and see now that 1, 2, and 3.
No, it was, these were on there.
No, I mean like the social one, or
Yeah.
yeah. So okay. Any more questions on that?
Oh, I see.
Okay. So
Okay.
We're making some.
thank you. Yeah. So on Android users, it's actually a lot easier to choose your default account. So on the top left of your calendar app, you're going to see the 3 bars, the hamburger menu. And if you tap on that, you should see manage calendars. And if I think if you keep going down, see manage calendars, it's all the way down at the bottom, and we were there already. And then I think if you, oh, sorry, I literally just, where did I see where it said the default one? There's your default. I'm sorry, it was underneath settings. I'm going to show you back really quick. So it was actually underneath settings here, and then you can choose your, if you scroll down, you can choose your default calendar. Okay, so what I was showing them, I'm going to show you guys. So when you create an event and you press the plus, when you create this event, it's going to choose for you by default where it's going to go. You can always change it manually, but it always has to assume at least one place to put it, right? It's got to have its home. the iPhone doesn't make it as easy to access that menu. We actually have to go to settings, right? And then I'm going to make life easy for you guys. I'm just down here at the bar or up here at the bar. Depends on which version you're on. I'm just going to tap in there and search for calendar. I'm going to tap on calendar. And if I scroll just a little bit down, see where it says default. Oh, sorry. I lost my default calendar right here. Calendar.
See?
Calendar.
So just choose the first one.
Yep. And then if you scroll down, you'll see default calendar. Who said they don't see that too? Where are we at? Yep. So, yeah. Okay.
And I lost track.
You're okay. So go to your settings for me, please. And then so you're Beth. So we're sorry, I switched screens on you. So we're gonna go to our settings. And then, like I was telling them, I'm just gonna search for calendar. Yep, sorry, I found it.
It's right there.
And then there'll be a option for default. Yep, calendar right there.
Right here.
Yeah, I would tap that one. You can do either one, but now this gets you to all of them. Yep, default calendar. Yep. And all that is choosing, like, if you're gonna create an event, your default is essentially you're choosing what you want it, where you want that event to go 90% of the time, right? So you can always put it somewhere else, but just as your safety net. Are you with me?
No.
Did you get lost? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So this one's kind of tricky. So it's actually in your settings. So if you go to settings and then search for calendar in there, there you. Right. Exactly.
Just put in calendar.
Yep. And then once it pops up, if you tap on calendar, right there. Yep. And then if you scroll down, you'll see default calendar. I will admit, I think on Android phones, choosing your default calendar is quite a bit easier. On iPhones, you have to go out of the calendar app into the calendar settings. I don't think that's very fun, but that is where it is. Okay.
So then how do you get that screen on?
Then you just go back home and you can, like you normally would. So here, switch your phone around for me. So you're good. Once you set it, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to turn the lights back on for a second. So watch your eyes, please. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Believe it or not, that was about an hour and a half of torture. I'm sorry, guys. I know that was a lot. So, how's everyone feeling? Check in with me, because I know that. Okay. Confused, good. I know it's a mixed room. Yeah, progress. Thank you for your patience. I know. Yeah, of course. I know the calendars can get really confusing. And Kathy, I'm sure we probably didn't even get to some of the more advanced stuff than we wanted to.
I know, I always have more.
I know. But does anyone want to do more with this? Okay. Perfect. This was also a learning opportunity for me, to be quite transparent. I've never taught calendars before. I thought I knew what you guys, where we should go with this, and you guys proved me wrong, and that's okay. Learning experience for me. But now at least you guys understand why I've been pushing off the calendar questions, because I'm like, it's a big topic. Any big questions I can answer to help you guys get less confused?
You actually answered some that you didn't address because I found the spot.
Perfect. My advice for you guys, if you really want to get good at it, this is the start. Start playing with it and then figure out what you don't know and then come back to me and we can definitely do that. Now that you guys at least have the base knowledge, if you guys need help during tech tune-up or anything, we can definitely go into deeper stuff, right?
I need to know how to add another email.
I can show you that. I can show you that before I leave, no problem. Okay. We're good? Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate your patience.